Welcome everybody back to Boost in Motion, guys. And today I've had this article sent to me. You guys blitzed my Boost in Motion Instagram. You guys sent me DMs like, Boost, they're bringing back out the Q50, and I'm like, you guys are trolling me. Stop messing with me. They're like, nah, Boost, take a look. And yes, it seems that Nissan Infiniti is bringing back the Q50. And I talked about that on my channel in the past. So let's go. Let's jump into the video. First thing, shout out to my whole Boost in Motion family. Much love. Today's technically a good day. We're hearing now that they're bringing back the Infiniti Q50, even though they just discontinued like a year ago. Really, Infiniti? Get it together. But this is all because they changed their CEO. That's why. And the CEO is actually a car guy. So I guess this is part of it. Now, before I get into the article and read about the different editors who spoke about this, I want to give you guys my own personal opinion on this. Number one, Infiniti doesn't sell any cars right now. How are you a luxury brand and don't sell cars? What is wrong with you, guys? They only have CUVs. QX. They just cut the QX50, 55, 60, 65, and 70 and 8. Nothing but CUVs. Now, Americans, this is our fault because we just keep buying them up because we just want to put kids in them. But most manufacturers still need to sell cars. Like, you got to give people options. If you only give them CUVs, after a while, people are going to go back to cars because guess what? Wow, you guys sell cars? You see what I'm saying? There's always going to be a shift. Next thing is they still make the VR30 motor, which is in a Nissan Z. So let me jump into the article because that's probably a lot of the reasons why they consider doing this. All right, manual transmission sedans are dying breed, right? Tell that to Japanese luxury brand Infiniti. All right, now let me go through the article quickly. Automotive News reports Nissan's alien luxury brand is getting shot adrenaline in the form of a twin-turbo. Come on, shut up, bro. Rear-wheel drive sedan with optional manual transmission. Now, I've been hearing that online. They've been saying rear-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive. In my head, Infiniti better not bring out a rear-wheel drive car in North America. Let's be serious. You know that Infiniti, if this is going to be an entry-level luxury car, has to have an all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive option. That's it. So in my personal opinion, before I get into it, Infiniti will probably bring out an all-wheel drive and or rear-wheel drive configuration. They're going to give you choices. That's number one. Because it's the same platform. They're going to do something like they did with the Nissan Z. They just took the old chassis and just redesigned it and made it an RZ34. So they're going to do the same thing for this. What is this, a V36? So they might probably call it RV36. They're just going to take what they already have because they don't have the money to design a whole new architecture, and they're just going to make some changes to it. That's all when it comes to the chassis. It will replace the Infiniti Q50, a 3 Series rival which exited production in 24 after just over a decade and debuted in U.S. market in the second half of 2027. Now, that's kind of far. For you to say you're bringing out this car almost a year and a half from now is taking too long. You guys could design this car in under a year. It's not that hard. You already have all the up to date information with the CUVs, so you're gonna take the very similar interior designs and put that into the car. One, two, you already have the motor and motor you already have, the transmission you already have. So you're just gonna have to get the engineering to mock that up to fit into the tunnel of that. So maybe you have to make some engineering changes to the not chassis, but some extra parts in it. I get it, but essentially, still the same chassis as long as you make major changes. Then other than that, do a couple of body foam molding like you guys usually do, the design, the architecture. We already see where you're headed with the look of the car. I think the look of the car is probably going to be the most amount of work you guys are going to have to do it because it's going to have to look very similar to the other Infiniti vehicles. But then also on top of that, it has to look good. If you get that part wrong, y'all lose a lot of money. The Q50S reportedly teased at Nissan's U.S. dealer meeting in Las Vegas on August 20th. A teaser shown to dealers reportedly shown a swoopy profile, slim headlights, circular taillights, and the latter classic Skyline design cue that continues to feature on the current sedan. Now, rather than engineering a new platform and powertrain, it reportedly uses components off the Nissan shelf, the platform of the existing Skyline, formerly known as Infiniti Q50 in markets like ours that are sold in Japan. The engine is from the Z sports coupe. The Z's twin turbo. Okay, now this is where they got it wrong. The Z's twin turbo 3.5. No, it's 3.0. The 3.5 is an Infiniti QX50. all right, or the Nissan Patrol. So that's not the proper motor that you guys are talking about. I see that you guys keep confusing with the 3.5. Get it together. Was already borrowed from the previous Q50 Red Sport, and as in dysfunction, I'm assuming. I don't know what he says there. He's talking about kilowatts now and new meters of torque. In the Q50S, the engine could be tweaked to produce more than 336 kilowatts of power, pretty much 400 horsepower, guys, and sports nameplate and potentially being dust off. That would see produce even more than a Nissan version of Skyline, which pumps out. Okay, I'm not talking kilowatts. I'm in America, guys. I'm sorry. The previous Q50 was never offered with a manual transmission, except equipped with a turbo diesel engine in Europe. And yes, it did have the turbo diesel. It had a 2.2 diesel motor, manual transmission. Then it had the 2.0 Mercedes motor. Then it had the 3.0 T regular non-performance. Then it was 3.0 T Red Sport, and then they had the hybrid too. So they had a lot of configurations, all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive. All right, in contrast, the Z, which is heavily based off the 370Z processor, is offered with either a 6-speed manual or a 9-speed automatic. Manual transmissions have been rare nowadays, and even in this mid-size luxury / sports sedan segment in Australia, your only option is stepping all the way up to an M3. The current Skyline and Zs are based off the FM platform, which dates back to the V35 series. Remember I said V35, V36, guys? This was exported as an Infiniti G nameplate, which latest for they're trying to give a history of this right now. I'm not gonna get into the history. The previous Q50s, the Mons left Infiniti without a sedan in any market, and subsequent confirmation of end of production of its front/all-wheel drive QX50 and QX55 crossovers this year was set to leave the luxury brand with just 3 products to look forward. See, the QX50, I don't think it was that bad. The biggest issue that I have with Infiniti is they came out with that VTC motor, which turned out had major recalls, and they designed a dope motor. It had variable compression, right? But other than that, you put that in all your workhorse cars. Yes, an innovative motor, but then you had a major recall on it. Stop trying to reinvent the wheel. You just make a simple 4-cylinder turbo, but you just had to make your variable compression and put that in all your vehicles. Get it together. And then you guys got rid of the VQ35. I think they got rid of VQ35. They retired that motor. The VQ35 was in their QX60 model. Someone will correct me on this video. The QX60 model, and now they went back to the VTC motor and got rid of the VQ completely. So they don't use the VQ anymore. One of the best dinosaur motors out there. But guess what? That dinosaur motor ran for hundreds of thousands of miles. Now you put something that needs to change turbos out probably every 40 or 50,000 miles, and the motor has its own major issues for a VTC motor. Get it together. Infiniti teased an electric passenger car in 2022 that could be replaced the Q50, but plans for that model along with electric passenger car for Nissan was reportedly scrapped early this year. You want to know why it was scrapped? Because number one, we got a different president. Thank God. I don't care what your politics are. They were killing dinosaur oil. I'm sorry. We all was saying this the last 2-3 years. Why are they keep forcing electric cars down our throats? Look what they did with the Ford Mach-E. We thought this was gonna be something dope. It was just another CUV. Now you just see it as a freaking fleet car at any Fortune 500 Fortune 500 company that needs it. I'm just saying. They were forcing this down our throat because Biden had certain regulations that certain auto manufacturers have to have a certain percentage of their cars to have some kind of hybridization under electric cars. We got rid of that. Guess what? Now they came out with a Corvette ZR, whatever it is called. Everybody's coming out with powerful cars again. Thank God. Thank God, man. Lord Jesus, they were trying to kill dinosaur oil. But here's the thing about electric cars before I finish it. Electric cars are cool. I like that I have the different types of electric cars for different brands. I get it. But only a certain market of people want electric cars. If everybody who wants an electric car goes buy one, there's not like a huge influx of people who just comes and buy more electric cars. No. But there's always people buying gasoline power cars. And they're always out there looking for it. They're just looking for different make and models. So that's why the electric car thing just is literally cratering right now, because whoever wanted one got one. And whoever doesn't want one, I'm not going to buy it. They're buying something else. Anyways, the brand had revealed various electric concept cars over the years, but never put an electric EV in production because they saw what happened to other auto manufacturers. They just had the designs. They were trying to see if the market would actually come and pull through, and it didn't. The Infiniti brand has been struggling in recent years, crippled by aging product and strong competition. It announced in 2019 it will withdraw from Australia and Western Europe. Since then, it has been limited predominantly to North America and China. And it talks about how much units that they sold. Anyway, I'll leave this truck up on the screen so we can look at it while I talk my nonsense. All right. So as we zoom out and have this conversation, right? Let's be quite honest. Is this really a good thing for the Infiniti brand? Right? Do we think this is a good thing for the Infiniti brand? You guys been hanging out with me for years. I'm on my third Q50. I'm on my like sixth or seventh Infiniti product, or no, like seventh or eighth Nissan product. I think it's a good thing because number one, there's not much cars in the market now that you can go that's purchased that are all-wheel drive, right, and give you a twin turbo six. Not many cars, right, or turbo six. There used to be a lot more sedans out there, but now there's a lot less. Let's be quite honest. If you want to go get a turbo powered entry level luxury sedan, whatever entry level sedan, and have decent power, was it Genesis, BMW, Audi? It's mostly just a handful of cars now. Before it was a lot more. Of course, over the years, there's cars that are now in that price range, but brand new off the lot, there was a lot more now. Look at it. I think it's a good thing because number one, they bring back more competition, which is good, right? I think the Lexus IS is still a good-looking car. I think they did a great job with that car. I just really wish they had put the twin turbo motor that they have that's in their LS model, their long wheelbase, the big LS for like 460 or whatever it's called. I really wish they put that twin turbo six in the IS, but they didn't. They went with their regular naturally aspirated motor, which runs once again kind of like the VQ, runs very well. So I get it. They went for reliability, but I really wish they put that 6 in there with the all-wheel drive. But anyway, Infiniti's going to come out with a good price point. They're going to give us the same 3.0T motor, right? Now, I know you guys are watching and saying, oh, my God, though. They might put the 3.5 that's in the QX80 in there. They could, but why? I'm saying, I want what you want to, but why? Think about it. This is almost a $100,000 truck. Are you really going to put this 3.5 twin turbo in there? There might be a lot of engineering they might have to do just to put it in there. Maybe by putting that in there, they might have to start crashing the cars again differently, so they can pass certain NHTCA, SA, whatever, NHTSA or whatever, crash tests, whatever they got to do. They might have to do that, so they might just keep the same 3.0T motor. And to be honest with you, it'll make it a lot easier for Nissan and Infiniti mechanics and engineers because guess what? The car already had it. So it's going to get the Nissan VR30. That's what it's going to get. But wait, what about the transmission? They're not going to put the 7-speed. The 7-speed is dead. They're going to put the 9-speed in there because that's what they use. It's going to be a 9-speed transmission. So the driveline is that. Is it going to have the same brakes? Most likely. The same Ekabono, front and rear. That's it. Same ones. Same stuff. But what else is going to be the same? They can't give me the same interior? No, they're going to change the interior. Just look at where the QX80 is and more of the last 2-3 models that came out. They're going to try to replicate that interior the best way possible because they want to make it uniform. That's how all manufacturers are. So they're going to do something very uniform. Just look at the interior for these trucks, and most likely they're going to try to do something like that in the Q50. Well, then, what about the looks? Look at this truck. Big grille, small running lights. They made this truck look the way it is. Right? It still has that look. Whatever they do with the Q50, they know they can't make it look too weird. Like, only a G80 could get away with the really big grill. I don't think they're going to try to do that with the Q50. They're going to probably try to make it subtle. It ain't going to look like the Q50 now, but they're going to make it a very subtle-looking car. It's going to change. It's going to look a little bit different. And I think they're just going to update the look of the car, right? I think the interior is going to remain the same. They're going to give you, once again, a lot of the creature comforts, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, all the lane keep assist, all that stuff is going to be there included in the car. Now, in my personal opinion, is they're going to just they're talking about this road drive nonsense. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to, what I think they're going to do is give you the all-wheel drive, give you the rear-wheel drive, and if they do offer the manual option, it will just be there. But they'll make small units of it. Like, let's say they have 50,000 cars they'll make like 5,000, or 3,000 stick shift. most likely. It's like, and it'll be stick shift ones, and they'll probably be the top of line like Red Sport version or something like that. They'll either be Red Sport version or not even. They probably get rid of Red Sport. It's probably gonna be, will probably just be the more. There's gonna be two. Think about it. What motors do they have? They still using the VTC motor, right? The variable compression motor. So the lower level model is going to have that four-cylinder variable compression ratio motor, the lower level model. And that lower level model is gonna probably be road drive or all-wheel drive and have base tech, right? Have the Lux interior. It's just not going to have much, right? I don't think they're going to give a middle. Honestly, I don't think they're going to give a middle level like they did last time, where they have like a 300 horsepower version. I see them kind of doing what they did with the Nissan Z. They'll give you the sport and the performance, right? So I think what they're gonna do is they'll probably give you like a 400 horsepower version, right? But you won't have like all the crazy tech in it. Like they'll give you the motor, but once again, the car will still be a base. So it'll be having 400 horsepower or something like that, but it'll still be a base, right? Then they'll have the next version, which will be the sport version. The sport version is going to have the bigger brakes. It's going to have the different bumpers, and you know how they make the change. They change up the seats. They may even change up the seats. Maybe they might use like the Z seats or something very similar to like something more of a sporty seat, like kind of what they do already. Well, hopefully just a lot more sportier, right? And put all those new nads in that. To be honest, a lot of these cars are also going electrified. So they may put an electric assist in there. I'm not saying electric motor, but they may make it a slight electric assist. You never know. So that the more sportier version is actually faster. That may be something that they will consider on doing. But if not, let's say they don't put anything electric in it, then they'll either keep it 400 or bump it up kind of like the Nismo. What they did with the Nismo, they'll just bump up the horsepower like 20 or 30 horsepower. So it's like, oh, if you want the sportier version, it'll be the 450 horsepower Q50S with the sport packaging, sport brakes, sport wheels, sport bumpers, and maybe they'll add some carbon accents to it and everything. It'll just be the nicer, more decked out car. Now, I don't think they'll call it a Nismo version, but people like numbers. They're like, oh, you got the 400 horsepower version? I got the 450 horsepower version. And that's what most likely was going to probably happen. That's what I would do from a marketing end, to still give you three different choices and still be able to, let's say, work that line where it's only two power plants that you're using rather than just rather than two power plants, rather than adding a 3.5. I think that's what they're going to do. That's what I would do for this model. Period. And of course, the lower level model is going to be the cheapest. That's it. Pricing, you would want to price. I think they're going to try to price, if they do what I just said, they'll price the Lux 400 horsepower version closer to the M340 price. Like, it'll be below the M340 price, base. Like, both base, it'll be cheaper than that. So it's like, oh, you could go get this M340 base, or you can go get this Q50 base for like $5,000 cheaper, right? But if you want the sport version, right, it'll be like another $10,000. So it'll be like $5,000 more expensive than a M340 base, or like it'll be like a little cheaper than a fully loaded M340 with everything. It'll be like a little cheaper with that, and a lot of stuff. There's not gonna be much crazy packaging on Infinitis. We don't have all that other extra stuff that they itemize on. So it'll like a Q50S or Q50 Sport fully loaded will be cheaper than an M340 fully loaded. So they'll play with the pricing somewhere there. So it's like they'll punch the M340 below the waist, but then it also fully loaded. It'll still punch it again. And for the 330i that they usually make, they'll probably make the 2.0 VTC motor somewhere around that price or even cheaper. So I think that's what they're gonna do. And I think it'll be a great idea. Give some good lease incentives. And just make the sporty ones actually sporty. We know they ain't going to do it. But make it a bit more sporty. We see that you have once again, go through the Nissan's parts bin. Figure it out. It's not that hard. All right? But outside of that, guys, you have a good morning, good afternoon, good night. I really appreciate you guys for your support. But other than that, this has been a good day, and I'm really happy that we could finally sit there and say the Q50 is coming back. And I'm not gonna lie, if it's good, if it's really good, I'm probably buying it. Probably will. I'm serious. I'm not playing. Not like the Nissan Z. I would have gotten a Nissan Z if they wouldn't have done the $15,000 over MSRP. And guess what? Everybody that overpaid for this Z are not trying to get rid of them 2 to 3 years later because they don't want the car anymore. But guess what? They're in the tank 15 to 20K. Coronavirus really messed y'all up. All right, side guys, you have a good morning, good afternoon, night. I appreciate it. You guys have a good day. Thank you.